collapsing infrastructure, stolen power, 10-hour outages, overwhelming demand. India's electricity issues are the obstacles holding back our rising economy. Just over a year ago, we suffered the embarrassment of becoming the home of the largest power outage in history. What does it say about our growing superpower status when a quarter of our citizens have no electricity and those who do can't even rely on what they receive? Many say India is decades away from sufficient energy supply, but there are companies and individuals who are determined to lead us out of these dark days much sooner. So can we get there in a substantial way, or must we buy and burn more coal? Can the power of Shunya bring light to the lives of millions? Can we achieve consistent electrification at minimal cost? In today's quest for zero, we will meet individuals and companies who are lighting homes and in turn lighting up lives. Our story begins at the heart of the outdated electricity grid, where blackouts are common due to power distribution failures. In fact, agriculture belts face up to 22% power failures due to high overloading, oil theft and poor maintenance of transformers. What's more, most of the transformers use oil, which in turn uses fossil fuels. Not only are these bad for the environment, but they are also high maintenance and take the longest time to repair. So how do we replace these dinosaurs with something a little more reliable transformers that can work towards a zero failure rate? In our next story, we will learn about transformers that are able to take a continuous overload of up to 20% without any failures. Here is a look at what these transformers can achieve from Reliance and DuPont.
Mumbai, a city that never rests. A city that is the engine of the Indian economy. Even the shortest of power failures in the financial capital results in huge losses to the economy.
Mumbai being the commercial capital of India, the city cannot afford to have any power interruption. It is interesting to know that our customers may be unaware of our challenges, never heard of load shedding in our license area in Mumbai. Our 28 lakh customers today enjoy a power availability of 99.98%.
Reliance Infrastructure, one of India's leading power companies, has been sticking to its commitment of providing uninterrupted power supply in Mumbai by employing a special type of transformer.
I think in a distribution system, transformer is the key equipment which needs to be focused on. For the long time, it was conventional paper insulations with oil was used. But today, I think the Nomex paper, which comes from DuPont, is one of the most important insulating material to be used for transformer for its durability. We have used this and we have got the great results.
In India, there is a very bad record of power transformers failing, sometimes as early as 1 to 2 years when they are supposed to last as long as quarter of century. And we have analyzed a lot of these transformer failures are because of poor maintenance, oil leaks and thefts and overloading at times. So you can imagine how much this erratic power supply impacts a lot of people. The need is to have uninterrupted power supply thanks to a good quality transformer which can be manufactured through applying good technology.
DuPont has put science to work to develop a new technology of open ventilated dry type transformers.
It took us a lot of time. Our engineers worked on several prototypes before they could develop a workable prototype which could help in the rural areas for uninterrupted power supply.
DuPont partnered with Prolec GE to manufacture the first of its kind Nomex insulation, which is critical to dry type transformers.
As far as these dry type transformers are concerned, there are two uses. One is for the purposes of the metro cities, another would be for the rural areas. Briefly, for metro cities, all the tall-rise buildings, the IT parks, the very heavily crowded places, these transformers are necessary because there have been accidents with the oil-filled transformers, for example, in Calcutta, Howrah, Delhi, Upar. The rural transformers, the failure rate in the country is very high. And most of the time when the farmer needs the power or when the power is needed, even when the power is available, if the transformer has failed, the power will not be available. So it's not just the power availability and deficit which is important, but availability of this equipment in the rural area is critical.
To address this problem of providing reliable power to remote villages, the Orissa Electricity Board is in the process of replacing their oil-based transformers with these dry-type transformers.
These days, the dry type transformers and specifically Nomex transformer, Nomex paper made transformers, these are helpful. Firstly, because of there is no oil in that, so the transformer failure can be reduced there substantially. Rather, it is eliminated with the no use of the oil. Because of this, its property of withstanding with the high temperature, and because of the fire resistance, the paper is basically prevents fire and it withstands with the temperatures, high temperatures also, and maintains its the dielectric strength.
Present problem is the rural feeder is that the transformer gets burnt quite often. Once the transformer gets burnt, replacement of transformer takes time. So this is the basically because the is not segregated the sometimes the agriculture feeder said the supply said due to the general consumers we are getting low voltage, we are not able to run the pump set. Sometimes the general consumer villagers complain as because you have put the agriculture pump set, we are not getting proper voltages to proper voltage for our supply.
These superior performance, low maintenance transformers will soon be aiding thousands of farmers in the Gajapati district of Orissa to improve their yield and income.
So through collaboration with various stakeholders like the utilities, the government, customers, DuPont is aiming to achieve Shunya power interruptions.
Electricity continues to be a rare commodity in remote areas of India. Even if villages are connected to an electricity grid, the cost of electricity is often too much for the majority of villages to bear long term. A civil engineer, Yogeshwar Kumar, has been taking the idea of hydroelectric plants and turning it into a miniature package. He has been helping villages in the Tehri district of Uttarakhand make their own electricity. He has installed these in over 15 villages so far. His work combines innovation and imagination and is paving the way for zero dark villages and zero pollution.
Treacherous terrains, rivers that flow in plenty. This is a tiny hamlet of Thati village in Uttarakhand, where time has stood still. But for Yogeshwar Kumar, it represented an opportunity to put his experience as an IIT engineer into play. Realizing the potential that water has as a source of energy for remote and hilly areas, he set up small micro hydropower projects in areas like this.
Rural areas don't have adequate supply of electricity. We still have about 10% villages not electrified, and there are almost 35% households in the country, those are without the reach of grid lines actually. So we need to supply power to all these isolated areas, and for isolated areas it is best to have a small power station which can cater to small village and a small population, and it may not be necessarily connected to the grid. And these are very useful for a local community when it can maintain it on its own and also sustain it for a long time.
For the villagers of this tiny hamlet, the micro hydropower plant is a lifeline. Not connected to any grid power source, the villagers of this hamlet use the 20 kilowatt micro hydropower set up by Yogeshwar Kumar for their daily use, and even have a computer lab up and running with the electricity that is generated by the micro hydropower plant. His method of bringing water to light up the lives of villagers is simple yet unique.
We are near a place called Buda Kedarnath. We had set up a small micro hydropower scheme about 15 years ago, and it is still working. We have utilized the water of this river called Menaka by setting up a very simple bush boulder weir. Bush boulder weir is made out of stones, bushes and little plastic material, so that water gets very easily diverted in a very low cost manner.
For most micropower projects that generate up to 20 kilowatts of power, no high-end construction is required on the rivers, and the water diversion can be done easily through readily available materials.
Water passes through this trash rake, which will stop all the boulder and stones, and rest of the water will move through. This is called intake channel, and if the water is extra, it will pass through this spillway and go back to the river.
The flow of water is controlled through a gate, which can be closed when the river is overflowing and can be opened when the flow is less.
After passing through the gate, the water enters a large chamber. This is called settling chamber. Settling chambers are very important because they help in settling all the silt or sand particles which are coming in the water.
Removing the silt from the water is critical as it affects the life of the turbine. Hard particles of sand and silt can corrode the blades of the turbine if they are not taken out during this stage. After this, the water is taken to a 4-way tank.
At the end of this power channel, we have another structure called 4-bay. The 4-bay serves a lot of purposes. One is to maintain the level of water. Number 2 is to allow extra water to flow out of it and go back to the river. Number 3 is to allow all the silt and sand still flowing in the water to settle there. And number 4 is to stop all leaves and wood flowing into the channel, to stop at the trash rake. And number 5 is to allow easy flow of water to the pipeline that ultimately reaches the turbine.
It is this water that comes out of the 4-way tank that is used to run the turbine in the powerhouse and generate power.
The water is flowing in this pipeline and it reaches here to the turbine. There is a jet inside which makes the water strikes the blade of the turbine, and that sets the turbine into rotation. Once the turbine starts rotation, it is connected to the generator and that generates electricity.
For the villagers and their children, micro hydropower projects like this is their source of power. And it is little steps like these which go a long way in a nation becoming powerful.
We have extreme shortage of power in the country, and we are far below world average. And if people start joining in production of hydropower and contribute to the grid, there will be a lot of smiles on the face of the nation. And by doing this, we are reducing a lot of carbon footprints, means zero carbon and zero unemployment rate, and hopefully zero migration.
So far, we have looked at two companies who are rethinking electricity generation so that it can be brought to more people with less of an impact on the environment. But what happens if these companies deliver this energy only to have it siphoned off before it ever reaches you? After the break, we see a startup that's working precisely to solve this loss.